Hi everybody. I'm just waiting for Randy to get in here. We're going to be just finishing up our conversation and the live topics that we were talking about. I do want to pick Randy's brain a little bit. You guys know that Randy is a CRNA. He's actually a travel CRNA. So I have a few questions to ask him as well. So I just sent him a link. We'll see if he gets in here. What's up, guys? I'm just waiting for Randy to get in here. I'm sending him the link right now. Let's see. There are like bunnies outside my window right now, and Simba's going crazy over it. There's so many little like baby bunnies with little white tails. Okay, here he is. Hi. So to continue our conversation, I do have a few questions to ask you.
Yes, let's
Okay.
do it.
So for the one person that's in here so far, hi. This is Randy CRNA. Now there's nobody in here because I acknowledge them. Cool. But
Hey,
so tell me about applying for CRNA school.
ooh, good one. So if you're applying to CRNA school, um, there's several things they're looking for: ICU experience, leadership experience. They're looking at your GPA, and even some schools still require you to take the GRE. So the ICU experience could be from any ICU, uh, preferably one with high acuity.
Mhm.
That would be the best. um Level one, level two hospital or something like that. And you got all the ICU experience you need right now. Um GPA, ideally you want above a 3 point, they say 3.0, but I would say if you're above a 3.3, you should be fine. They look at your science GPA, i.e., your microbiology, anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, chemistry, physics, if you take it. What else? I'm trying to position this camera. Sorry.
GRE.
Yeah, I took the GRE twice.
The GRE
Um,
scares me.
the GRE sucks.
I I took practice questions for the GRE, and I swear, like the practice questions are like, if grass plus table equals tree, what does blue plus rainbow equal Santa Claus? I don't know. Like that's what shied me away from wanting to take the from wanting to
Right?
go to CRNA school was honestly the GRE. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it sucks. I ain't gonna lie to you. I I had to take it twice. Granted that granted I didn't even study the first time I took it because I forgot I had to take it.
Oh my god,
Um
I'm done.
but the second time I actually studied and it worked out, you know.
How'd you study for it? Did you take a prep class or did you buy a GRE prep book?
So I'm not I you know, I hate books, but I had to buy a book. There's a study program called Magoosh.
Magoo.
Um Magoosh, right? You could actually download it on your phone. So you could download Magoosh on your phone, and it give you a ton of practice questions and tips that can help you through the test. And then also give you, like, when you log onto the computer, it also give you practice exams so you could practice your GRE. What I used to do when I was an ICU nurse on neuro ICU, I worked night shift, so I would download the Magoosh app on my phone, and I would do practice questions on downtime, like especially like the math and the vocabulary and things like that. So it was real helpful for me. I learned a lot by doing practice questions and looking at the rationale and things like that. So Magoo's was awesome, in a sense of bringing my GRE grades up.
I used to do
Legit.
CRN. I still haven't taken my CCRN. I just have to take it.
Hmm.
But I used to
You
do
can
that.
do it.
Well, no, I'm not
Listen,
scared to do it. I was signed
come
up.
on.
I was signed up to take it before I left for COVID, and my test got canceled. So, and then ever since then, I've just never took it. So, but I mean, I feel confident that I'll pass though. I think I could go pass right now, honestly. When I get back to LA, I'm probably just going to sign up to take it. The reason why I never like went to get my CCRN, like when I started travel nursing, was because my experience like spoke for itself. So like even if someone else had their CCRN, I was still getting hired over them. But the reason why I wanted it originally was because when I was a staff nurse, they'd give you a raise if you had CCRN. And then at the time, I was like, I don't know if I want to do CRNA yet, but that was always my goal. So I don't know.
CCR, people say CCRN is difficult. I don't think, me personally, I don't think the CCRN that difficult because, like, at the end of the day, everything they testing you on the CCRN is stuff you do in the ICU anyway.
Exactly.
Like, that if I'm floor resuscitating somebody, I'm resuscitating them with NS,
Mhm.
not fucking other floors or like court D5 or anything like that. And that's most likely going to be the answer for anything that's floor related, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Um, right. I would say like if you're strong in cardiac, just remember the different areas of the heart that you can have like having a heart attack or something like that. And they got little mnemonics you can remember that. Um, I use past CCRN. Um,
Past
and
CCR.
yeah, have you heard of that before?
Yeah, I have the Barron's CCRN. I even have the flashcards. I don't know where they are right now. I use them actually when I fire hoop. I use them as my travel nurse, as my tripod. I mean, but I mean, I've like memorized the entire Barron's CCRN book. I just need to go take it.
You memorize the book,
I just put it off. Yeah, no, yeah. Like I read that book so much. I read that book so much, and I do the flashcards for fun a lot of the times.
so you don't really need the book. Like I use past CCRN quiz bank. That's all I use to study the quiz bank, and I studied for 7 days before I took it. That's it.
I need you to take an IQ test. I need to see like what part of like the IQ spectrum you're on in comparison
I
to me.
don't know what part I'm on.
Because you
I suck at look. I
can
suck at vocabulary. I suck at vocabulary, English grammar, and stuff like that. Right. I didn't have a strong high school uh, classes and all of that. But like when it comes to like memorization and stuff like that, like I don't know. Like a lot of school is easy to me. Like even CRNA school, it was hard, but it was not that hard for me compared to other people.
did you feel like as long as you put the work in and you studied and did what you were supposed to do, like it was like possible?
Yes,
That's
yes. Uh,
scared of.
it's a long, slow grind. I tell everybody to just get through the week.
Yeah.
Just get through the week. You make it through the weekend, pass all of your exams, and focus on the next week. And then it's a long grind for several years, and you before you know it, you're done. But yeah, I studied for the CCRN. I studied 7 days, and all I did was the quiz banks, did the questions, looked at the rationale, and then went back and did the questions over again. But like, I like to draw mental maps in my brain, right? So like, I don't use flashcards or I don't write notes or anything like that.
So you just memorize?
I draw mental images. Like if I'm answering the like a question or something like that, I'm going through the process of what's happening and like just thinking about it, right? What's going on? I'm going through the process in my head of what's going on, and I'm drawing mental images and pathways and all that. And that's how I memorize things. That's why I think I'm more of a visual learner than read it off a piece of paper or a book or something like that. But that's the neat thing about CRNA school. You're gonna figure out what kind of learner you are. Like the way you learned in nursing school is not gonna work in CRNA school.
No way. Were you,
Nope.
you weren't able to work during CRNA school?
No, man. Well, since everything switched to this new DMP thing, right? A lot of programs have allowed their students for the first 6 months to continue working.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of like really fluff classes like DMP research based classes that you can do while having a job. And then I've heard that some schools prefer you to work like the first before you get to your clinicals. They prefer you to work it so you can have the sense of working a whole shift and getting off and have to study, just
Yeah.
being tired. But once you hit your clinical phase, probably the last 2 years of school, you're in clinicals like 60 hours a week. You can't work because not only are you in clinical 60 hours a week and you prepping and studying and reviewing notes over like what cases you got coming up tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. You still got exams and quizzes and other things you have to do in class that might be totally unrelated to what you're doing in the ORs tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
So you literally you might get out of clinicals like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 or 6, and you know what cases say I'm doing a craniotomy tomorrow. Well, guess what? I need to prep for that. I need to look up what I need to know to do a craniotomy, do and give anesthesia for a craniotomy. But I also got an exam this weekend or on Friday on OB that I need to study for. You
Oh
know,
my gosh. You're like still actively taking tests while you're doing clinicals. Woo!
but yeah, it's super stressful, and once you get a routine down, you'll make it. It's just like you're tired and stressed out, and you're studying all the time. So yeah, I can only imagine somebody get out of clinicals, do 60 hours, like 60 hours of OR clinicals, and then saying I want to go pick up a shift. Knowing you got fucking exams that you got to pass on Monday or something like that, Monday morning. So you're gonna spend 12 hours to make a few dollars this weekend versus studying. Because guess what? Most CRNA programs you got to pass with a B or above, right?
Mm-hmm.
A B or above, and a lot of B's in programs are 83 or above. Some programs I heard of, you got to have keep it maintain an 85. So, and if you fail one class, you get kicked out the program.
Really? So there's
Yeah,
no
you get kicked out.
radiation going to take the class again?
Nope, you get put on probation if you fail the exam. But if you fail another exam and you got a C in that class, guess what? You're done. You just spent $70,000 on a program and you just got kicked out because you wanted to pick up a shift on the weekend in ICU or something like that instead of studying.
Did you work with people that got kicked out of your program? Or not
No, actually, we
school?
didn't. A lot of schools do have people that get kicked out of the program, but like nobody worked in my school, so no, we all passed, we all graduated. Um, Everybody have their strong points and weak points in school. So it's best to enter the program, get with a group of people. It's not like nursing school. Like I feel like everybody competed with each other in nursing school.
Yeah,
Uh,
school was very clicky.
yeah, it was really clicky in nursing school. Like my program wasn't clicky at all. We all like had a WhatsApp group and we all shared notes.
They all come up.
Uh, we all shared notes and things like that. So, and then at the end of the day, we were just trying to graduate. We didn't give a fuck about. We didn't give. I'm sorry. We didn't give a damn about who had the highest GPA or anything like that. Like, look, it was like the Hunger Games. Like, listen, we just need to survive. Like, do what we gotta do to make it through this week. It's like the Hunger Games all over. We just need to make it through this week. Like, I help you out, you help me out, and at the end of the day, you become like almost like brothers and sisters in school. Like, you're just trying to make it through the best you can. Like, I think most people get into school like they still have this mentality of when I was in nursing school. That shit's gone by the end of the first semester.
Oh my gosh.
It's gone. You just like, you know what? I don't even care about no 4.0. I don't care. I just want to pass. I don't want to get kicked out of school. I just want to pass.
How many years was your program?
I did a master's program actually. Mine was 27 months. Um, and mine was a hybrid program. So that means that we were doing clinicals in class at the same time. So the first semester was like this really intense semester where we went through anatomy and physiology, cadaver lab, where we did dissections and things like that. We went through anesthesia and some other things. And it was like our definitely the hardest semester, right? Anatomy and physiology was is like way more in depth than nursing school.
Oh, I bet.
And that was like our hardest class right there because it took up probably 80% of our study time.
Mm.
Because we had our anatomy teacher, she had a PhD in anatomy and physiology. And
Oh,
all she ever wanted to do in life is teach anatomy and physiology. So she wanted us to know this, not know anatomy and physiology like she did. And we were like, look, we know you got a PhD in this. You just love everything about the body. Like we just trying to pass. Like so she taught the math students, she taught PAs, she taught MPs, she taught nurses, she taught PT, OT, right? She just customized her class to
hmm.
the type of program you in. So naturally, we were anesthesia, so she taught us the way she taught the math students. So it was like this really intense, in depth course we took with her.
You know how in nursing school, I don't know if you had this experience in nursing school where you felt like your teachers were against you almost, and like they wanted you to fail. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I definitely know, like because I had some I listen. I had to curse one of my nursing school teachers out before.
I'm done. But was it like that in
Like I made her cry in the middle of the class.
no way?
I did.
In nursing
I did. I made her cry in the middle of the class, man, because she was on some BS.
school,
I'm
done.
surprised I didn't get kicked out the program for making her cry.
I'm done.
Like no bull. It was bad because she was like, like how you teach in nursing school and you haven't done bedside nursing in 10 years. Like what?
I had a teacher that was banned from the hospital. She wasn't even allowed to pass meds in the hospital, and somehow she was like teaching. And I have ADHD, and I had one of those, one of those disability like,
Hmm.
right, what is it, like the write up, like the disability plans. And my teacher literally took me to like after class, took me aside. She's like, I want you to stay after class. She's like, do you really want to be different than everybody else? Do you really want more time on the test? Do you want to make yourself stand out like that? Blah blah blah. And then she
That's
assigned me a paper. She assigned me a paper, and she was like, you can't take the test until you write a paper on why you don't need more time. So I reported her to the disability services people, and she got in trouble.
Yeah, I would too, man. You can't do that. Like even in CRNA school, like we had people that had learning disabilities, nurses, and they got extra time to take the exam. That's the neat thing about my school. It's like, hey, we want you to graduate, and if you have a true disability, like we could make accommodations for you. And now they practice in CRNA. So,
Yeah, like she really thought that I was like faking my ADHD, and I'm like, nah, but I did write the paper though. But I wrote the paper
hmm
why me having ADHD is valid and why she was violating like disability laws and stuff like that is what I wrote the paper on. Because the test was on a Friday and disability services didn't open up until Monday, so I had to give her a paper, but it was basically like an FU paper, like a fight the power type paper. Like I was like, this is why I need my disability services, whatever. But I usually didn't even take the extra time, but it was nice to know that I had it just in case. Because I don't have test anxiety at all. But I was like, I'm gonna take whatever advantage I can get. Like if I'm diagnosed with it.
Yo, I would, at some point in CRNA school, I was like, man, I need to go get diagnosed with ADHD or something like this.
So
So I can get some extra time on the test, man.
it was
Man, listen.
it was funny because I was the only one in school at first, like in my like class, and then by the end of the year, it was like 10 to 12 people that were like sitting in the other classroom to get an extra time. time, and I was like, damn, like y'all got ADHD now.
Where's everybody from in the chat? Say hi and let us know where you're from.
Yeah, tell
Um,
me where you're
so
from.
yeah, the past CCRN thing, you know, like you I used the quiz bank. I studied for 7 days and went and took it and passed and went back to work the same day, right? You know what's the crazy part? Like I was the only person on my unit that have a CCRN on. I was neuro ICU, like 23-bed neuro ICU, right? None of the nurses had a CCRN. I passed mine at the 1 year mark, right? I took mine at the 1 year mark. And they was like, well, we can't pay you extra for it because you got to work here 5 years. And then they made a little plaque for people that has the CCRN
Just you.
a year later, right?
Yeah.
They made a little plaque to put on the wall. And it was some of my other coworkers. They decided they wanted to go to CRNA school, so they took the CCRN and passed. They My manager put their names on it and didn't put mine on there. And
No way.
I'm talking about literally they made a plaque like a year and a half later, put everybody else's name on it but mine. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like
No way. See, my staff job that I came from, they would pay you more, and then also like I was probably the only one of the ones that didn't have it yet, but it was because like I hadn't had like all the hours yet, and then I went and I switched to like the trauma ICU, and then I don't know, I just signed up for it and then just didn't take it. But I gotta take it. But that's my goal when I go to LA is I'm just gonna take it. I have more questions for you. Oh, okay, this might be a dumb question. As a CRNA, like when you go to take travel CRNA jobs, are there different types of CRNAs? Like, you know what I mean?
yes. So that's a beauty in being a CRNA. Like you get this broad anesthesia education, like OB, pediatric, um, old people.
Old
And
people.
then when I go travel to CRNA jobs, um, you kind of pick and choose the hospitals you want to go to. Like if I don't want to do peds, I'll tell them, hey, I don't want to do peds, and they'll just be like, all right, we just keep you away from the pediatric cases. Or if I don't want to do OB, they're just like, all right, we won't give you OB or something like that. But then you can even get more in detail with the type of cases you like to do. Like if I don't want to do craniotomies, I'm saying, hey, I don't like doing craniotomies, man. Put me somewhere else. And they'll find another room to put you in. You might be doing lap choles or something like that. Or I can say, hey, I don't want to do lung cases or something like that. Okay, we won't put you in lung cases. Or I don't want to do vascular or cardiac or something like that. So that's the neat thing that we have this broad knowledge of anesthesia that we could do all of these different type of cases. And then the cases I don't like to do, I could just say, hey, I don't want to do those cases.
What kind of cases do you normally do?
I do this most recent place I worked at. We did craniotomies. We did gender reassignment surgery.
Oh heck yeah.
Right. We did OB, lungs, vascular, no cardiac, and neurovascular as well, and just general stuff.
Do you ever have people that are like waking up during it and and you gotta give them more stuff?
Nah, what's interesting is like 1 in 2,000 people, 1 in 2,000 or something like that will experience like interrupt awareness or wake up. Um, but me, I've never personally had any body wake up during anesthesia. You get little subtle cues that somebody's getting light on anesthesia. Uh, Typically, the first thing changes is your vitals will change, and then you'll start to see movement or something like that. Like if you miss those cues, then you're just not paying attention at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh, my biggest pet peeve is when we have paralyzed patients or not me because I never let my sedative run out. But have you ever worked with a nurse that let their sedative run out when the patient's paralyzed? And you can see the changes in their vitals that they're awake when they're paralyzed.
Yeah,
Simba.
yeah, they start bucking against the machine and
Yeah,
things like that.
they're like
Heart rate.
150, 160. Like it's crazy. It's so scary. Oh my gosh, I hate to see that patient. Do you ever have people that are really hard to put down, or like, is it true that they say that like
Oh my God,
rednecks
don't
are
get me started.
higher?
Typically, it's young, redhead females and people that do a lot of drugs and alcohol. Like they always like require the most anesthesia just to get them asleep. Like a lot.
I tried to fight the propofol one time when they were putting me down for a procedure, and I don't know. She had it like in like a 10 cc syringe. She hadn't even like pushed the whole syringe yet, and I was like trying to fight it. We were talking about something about Disneyland, and like literally like I got like 5 words out, and I was already down. She was like, "Yup." Like,
Are you hearing like some interference with the microphone?
ooh, me. Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It's probably the I had it on my laptop.
Okay, got you. Yeah, man. Like, so you had anesthesia before?
I had prop before to put me down. That was really it.
Not, did you fight? Did you make it?
Yeah, I tried fighting it, and literally, it was probably not even 10 seconds. Like she had it in a 10 cc syringe, and I don't even think she used the whole syringe. Like I remember looking at the syringe as she was pushing it, and she had it like not even halfway pushed, and I was already out. Because I remember I was so anal about what she was giving me. I was like, "How are you gonna keep my airway open?" I was like, "Are you gonna be head, tail, chin lifting me?" I was like, "I don't want to be intubated." I was like, "If you have to emergency intubate me, you can, but watch out for my teeth." Like I don't know. And I hate to be that
Listen,
person, but I was
listen.
like.
I run people on propofol drips without an airway all the time. Like I'll run you at as high as 200 mics per kg per minute
Damn.
with just an oxygen mask.
I mean, now that I know that's not like, it's not so uncommon, but working in the ICU and just only having people like intubated. But I've been in the OR before with my patients and whatnot, and I've been there where like they let me do the head tilt chin lift to my patients. That's the only reason I know about it. But
Yeah.
what else do you give them?
Fucking Versed, fentanyl. I love to give people ketamine.
Ketamine?
Ketamine, sit them on the. I mean, like, I feel like if you getting anesthesia, man, I might as well give you anesthesia. Like,
Yeah.
I'm about to send you to the moon. You paying for this? I'm gonna send you to the
I'm
moon.
done. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah. In the
Like,
ICU,
I'm gonna send you to the moon, legit. Like if
I'm
I get anesthesia, just give me ketamine. I want to know what that feel like, because like they pay. Look, I was doing a TEE on a patient at the bedside, right? I
mhm.
gave this man 10 milligrams of ketamine, man. Listen, after the procedure was over, this guy just sat there and smiled at me for like 30 minutes, like this.
I'm done. I mean, ketamine therapy is real.
He
They
just smiled at me
definitely
like.
do that.
I was like, "You all right, sir?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good."
I only ever use ketamine on like drips for patients that are like going through crazy alcohol withdrawal, or like patients
Hmm.
that are really rowdy that like say if we're giving them fentanyl, Diprovan and Versed and all those aren't working, then we'll say like screw it, like trash all that and just put them on a ketamine drip. But and we'll use it to intubate, but in the ICUs, usually the nurse isn't allowed to push the ketamine. It has to be the doctor for a ketamine push to intubate.
You know what's interesting is with ketamine, right? Ketamine doesn't cause respiratory depression.
Really?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't cause respiratory depression. It may cause some cardiac depression, given a high enough dose, but there's no reason why you should stop breathing on ketamine.
No way. I didn't know that.
It's just like Precedex. Except for Precedex gets you down, the ketamine gets you high as fuck. Like
Yeah,
Precedex doesn't have respiratory depression.
yeah, it's just the heart rate.
Yeah. I send them to the moon. Like, listen, especially the
Send
young
him to the
one.
moon.
That's what I tell them. I was like, all right. Especially if they do like they use marijuana or something like that. It's like, yeah, I get a young 20-year-old, they use marijuana every day. I was like, yeah, I'm just anxious or something like that. I said, don't worry, I got you.
I'm done.
And then they get ketamine. Here, you ever seen ketamine face?
Yes.
When you give them a bolus of ketamine, they just
Yes, I have. I have definitely
yeah.
seen that. So yeah, officially, if I ever get surgery, you're gonna be the one that's gonna be doing
Listen,
anesthesia.
I'm gonna send you to the moon. I promise you that. You gonna be like,
I'm done as long as I'm on a monitor. Don't Michael Jackson me now.
yeah, yeah. I'll make sure you don't wake up all like young people wake up. You know, they wake up rough. So I give precedent to young people in their 20s and below, just to chill them out, waking up. Otherwise, like you wake up in the K hole. I had one person wake up in the K hole.
I'm done.
Lord, it was not fun.
I'm done. Not the K hole.
He was in the K hole, man. He was in the K hole, and he was a big guy, man. This guy was like 6'4", 270 pounds.
Dang.
And this guy woke up in PACU. He was throwing nurses left to right, like yeah, yeah. I was like,
I've had
oh,
patients do that to me. They wake up just throwing fists. I'm like, bro, like,
I was
why?
like, nope, not today, man. Propofol, go back to sleep.
So how long did you work as a CRNA? Like, did you work as a staff? You worked as a staff CRNA before you became a travel CRNA?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I've always like traveled away from home to work. But I did have a stationary W-2 position in California, um, Northern California. And then I did 1099 at other hospitals. So it was, I guess it's like locum.
Mm-hmm.
When you go work at other hospital could per diem and all of that. So and now I'm just full time locum. So I just travel back and forth. So I did that since I graduated school.
Really? So you didn't have to do like, oh dang, dang. I don't know. You're making me want to go to CRNA school for real, for real. But I don't know. We'll see. Because California pays
Mm.
nurses so well too. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get a staff job in California first and see what happens. How did you prove your hours? Did you have to have a manager sign off, or you just put your work history? Because I know you have to like you have to have a certain amount of hours or whatever, like in the ICU. Like, how do you prove that to the school?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, your manager gonna sign off on it. They may contact your manager, they may not, but like, there's no definitive proof of hours with CRNA school. Which is when you take the CCRN, your manager got to send in proof of your hours to
Oh,
take the CCRN.
dang. So if I've been a travel nurse the past few years, I guess I would have to have my agency do that, right?
Your agency can do it, I believe. Yeah, I believe your agency can do it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Now I'm me looking up right now so that I can sign up for my CCRN and then go from
You
there.
got this.
I'm scared. I'm just really scared of the GRE. Like, I'm not scared of the CCRN at all. Like, I just never took
Yo, I was
CCRN
scared of
'cause
GRE too.
yeah, I never took CCRN because, like I said, I was signed up and then it got canceled during COVID. Like, didn't work out. So then I just kept getting contracts. So I was like, what's the point? But I'm not. But I'm willing to take it. Like, I'll probably go take it just to say I have it. But honestly, like, I'm deathly afraid of the GRE. Like, I do practice questions for the GRE, like, just for fun sometimes, and like, it is not. I don't know.
Yeah, GRE no fun, man. I was scared to take it too because that's like math you did in high school. Like we out of high school now. We don't remember that weird, crazy thinking like how long it take a train to get from here to there. And then, hey, listen, how much you paying me?
Yeah, or like theoretical questions, and I guess that they're
Yeah,
probably like trying to test like your critical thinking. So I guess I get it, but I don't know. For me, like my critical thinking type is like different. I feel like you know what I mean. Like I have really good
there.
critical thinking, but
You
I
know,
was
there are a
always
lot of programs getting rid of the GRE now.
good. They better. But yeah, I was always like the kid that like I would always get the right answer, but I wouldn't have the right mathematical formula type thing. And the teacher would be like, "Yeah, you got the answer right, but I have to mark this wrong because like this is not how I taught you to do it," type thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's some nonsense right there. That used to happen to me a lot in school. Like I would do a lot of math in my head and that would work the problem out. And they'd be like, well, you didn't show how you got your answer. I'd be like, I got it right though.
Exactly. Why does it matter? You
I
know what I
got it right. Why does it matter? I didn't show. I worked it out in my head. That's what I did.
I'm done.
So
I'm
I
done.
used to I used to get in trouble for that often in school, working problems out in my head and all of that. So
I'm done. So
nonsense.
you never felt like not good enough or like too scared. You were just like I could do it.
For CRNA school,
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like, at some point, at some point in school, like everybody get depressed. Like, with the amount of information you need to know and how much longer you got to like continue to. It's like because it's a long, grueling program, right?
Mhm.
You get the information, but sometimes you get depressed. You just ask yourself why. Why am I putting myself through this, right? And then the crazy part is like I was still in school when the pandemic first kicked off, and just looking at the travel ratio I was getting, and I'm in school, like, God damn, they getting paid how much?
Yeah, and now I'm looking at you the same way. And during
Yeah,
the
I'm like,
pandemic,
yeah, man.
there were doctors like the nurses, the ICU nurses. We were making 10K a week, right? The travel doctors were making 100K a week.
Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I can't imagine how much travel CRNAs were making during the pandemic. But I mean, you could not give me any amount of money.
The interesting thing was travel CRNAs wasn't making as much. They
Really?
actually CRNAs actually lost jobs, right?
Oh well, yeah, because
And
you guys weren't doing surgeries and stuff.
yeah, no
That's
surgery,
true.
no job. That's the downside to being a CRNA. No surgery, no job, right? That's why they starting to come out with these new programs where they combine the CRNA and acute care nurse practitioners
Mm.
into one degree.
I wonder how long those programs are.
No, it's still 36 months. A
36 months.
DMP. It's still a DMP except for you graduate with a nurse practitioner degree and a TRNA degree.
Dang. Yeah, I was looking at a program like that down in South Florida. I think it was FIU. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be in South Florida anymore, so
Nah, stay away from the Florida schools.
hey, no, I mean Florida, South Florida does have like a few really good nursing schools and like CRNA schools. And the one school down there, the FIU, that's one of the first CRNA schools that started actually offering doctorate for CRNA.
Yeah,
That's why
and
I
now
was
all of them.
no, not all of them are, but yeah, but I don't know, like Florida nursing, like there are a lot of fake Florida nurses and fake Florida schools. But like if you do your research and you go to a good school, like I said, like when I started nursing school, like they warned us about all those schools, and they were like, because when you get kicked out, you're gonna end up at one of these schools if you don't do your research. But I don't know, there are some really good schools down there, but I can't work in Florida. I can't.
Yeah,
I can only work in California,
I
Cali
was
or
just looking
Riverdale.
at. I was just looking at this post. They actually have CRNAs in Switzerland, right?
Nah.
They get paid about 220,000 a year in Switzerland as CRNAs.
Switzerland is so expensive to live though.
I believe you.
Switzerland is like really expensive to live. It's like you got to be rich living there. So, but I mean, I guess you could as a CRNA, but that's cool that it like transfers over, or does it not transfer over? You have to go to the
I don't.
too.
I don't know if it necessarily transfer over. Not a lot of places. Not a lot of countries use CRNA. There's only a handful. Like the U.S. Like we're the biggest, obviously. Then Switzerland, maybe a country in Africa. That's about it. It's maybe like three, four, five countries that use CRNA, and then like the scope of practice is different in all these countries. Like here in the U.S., we could do everything. We do everything, right? These other countries, you can't. They don't allow you to do a lot of things.
So you even like when you go to the hospital and you know you're gonna do a surgery, you even are the one to order the meds, or you have to have the other doctor do it.
No, I ordered a med. Like, what kind of meds you talk about?
Like if you know you're gonna give like propofol, fentanyl, ketamine, like you order it in the system or whatever to like show that you gave it and like put it under you.
Yeah, yeah. So the way it's set up is like in all 50 states, like you got to have a collaborator, right? And that could be either anesthesiologist or the surgeon that you're working with at the time.
Hmm.
And pretty much, I order everything, and he signs off on the chart saying that he authorized me as a CRNA to provide anesthesia, right? But like he don't know anything about anesthesia. That's my job, right? So that's sort of like a collaborative type agreement, right?
Yeah.
Um, Now there are like I believe like 32 states now where we don't need any physician supervision at all. Like
Really?
so we could order it do whatever we need to do on our own. We build for ourselves, all of that. So yeah, we kind of advocating for like true independent practice. Where you don't need any physician supervision.
Wait, you bill for yourself, so do you get to choose your price?
We can. It depends. Like if I decide to work at a plastic surgeon office and he just take cash, then I could be like, hey, this is how much I'm charging for anesthesia, right?
Yeah.
Like if I take insurance, then I kind of got to go by what the insurance company willing to pay. They have set prices for a lot of things we do in anesthesia, and we just build for that the ICD-9 codes and stuff like that.
hmm Okay, so now looking at like everything, like all the other specialties that nurses could advance their degrees in, do you recommend CRNA over everything, or like?
I mean, if you have the time, yeah, CRNA over anything. But like, if you just want like straight flexibility, MP school, like, cause you could do so much more with an MP degree than a CRNA degree. Um, you can open your own practice, med spas. You can do telehealth and stuff like that. I can't do stuff like that. But like, if you want to be free, like you could do telehealth as an MP and fucking work while you're on vacation and making money.
Damn. Could you ever like partner with a surgeon and open up your own practice though?
Yeah, like I could always open my own anesthesia group anytime. Like I could do that now if I felt like it. Or like I could always partner with a surgeon and invest and open up a surgery center or something like that. Um, that's
Damn.
just
I'm gonna go to
business.
CRNA school and we'll open up a surgery. We'll open up an anesthesia group.
No, man, that's too much work. There's a lot of work going into that. Like they make money, but it's a lot of work like that goes into it,
Yeah, I don't know if I'd.
and there's a lot of competition, like constantly competing with each other for contracts.
Damn.
Real money is the real money in the surgery center. Open up a surgery center, outpatient surgery center
Yeah.
with investment. You bring on a contract with an anesthesia group to come in. The surgeon contract with other surgeons to come operate there. Money in the bank.
Damn. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for right now.
What?
Do you have anything else to add?
Um, what do you want to talk about now? I don't know. We should we split these lives up into separate lives? Start a whole new live.
I mean, I'm down.
Let's do it. So I got 30 minutes to do another live. We could end this one and then we could change the topic to something else on the next live.
All right.
All right,
Guys,
let's
thanks
do that.
for watching. Join our next live. Bye.
We're coming right back, you guys. We're coming
Right
right
back.
back.
All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.